Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Cruz and welcome back to another video. In this one I'm going to do an updated pedalboard walkthrough or run through. This is going to be the last one for this particular pedalboard. So here's the pedalboard playthrough of 2021. Let's get it. Guys, before we do get into this video though, please do all of the things that help this channel grow. Like this video, comment, and subscribe below. Be sure to hit the bell icon so you get an alert every single time I upload a video. There are affiliate links in the description box below that if you click on, first of all, you'll find a bunch of links that lead to some of the products that I'm showcasing here in this video today. And if you click on them, it does kick back and help the channel a little bit. So every click is absolutely appreciated. You can also donate directly to this channel if you choose to do so using the link in the description box below. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so as I specified in my last video, if you haven't watched it, the link is right here. It's an FAQ video where I essentially let you guys in on some of my future plans for this channel, specifically with my current pedalboard. I actually really love this pedalboard. It's been absolutely perfect, as I've said in other videos or specifically in the last video, but it's just time, man. I've been I don't know, I've just been kind of not playing as much as I should. I haven't been really showcasing other pedals that I have here in my studio in this very kind of shelving unit that you see right next to me. I have pedals that I haven't played in a really long time that I would love to showcase here. Things like the Emerson M Drive, one of my absolute favorites, and haven't gotten rid of it because I absolutely love it. Other delays that I've fallen in love with throughout the years, like the Boss DD5. It's one of my top favorite delays of all time, actually. Needless to say, there are other things that I would like to do on this channel concerning pedals and guitar playing as a whole, but because of the way my pedalboard is configured, I almost don't want to touch anything because I'm afraid of messing it up. And I just haven't been playing out at all in the year 2021. Actually, I did do a lot of playing in the year 2020, believe it or not. Took on a lot of home sessions and recording sessions as a whole, but it just didn't transfer over in the year 2021. And I also don't think I made myself very much available because I've been focusing so much on this particular channel, and therefore it has been my focus. So I haven't really had much time to put myself out there as a musician or a guitarist for hire, and I just don't go out as much. So it doesn't really make sense that I have this really well put together pedalboard for traveling essentially and playing out live if I'm actually not traveling and playing out live. So it makes for really easy, convenient recording sessions, and to be able to plug in and play really quickly. I'm not doing that either. I'm currently not working on any kind of music. Sorry for those one or two of you who want new music from me, but I'm not doing that. And even if I were, I think I want to take this next project that I work on a different route and just explore tones a little bit differently than I have in the past. So I'm challenging myself this year, and I'm gonna be taking this pedalboard apart. But for now, I wanted to take advantage of the fact that it's still put together and give you all one more rig run through, or one more pedalboard playthrough I should say, using this exact pedalboard. Now I'll say this much, it actually hasn't changed at all since my 2020 pedalboard run through, and I'll link that right up here. But I just figured, you know what, it'll be fun. I'll talk to you about some of the tones that I've gotten. I haven't really made too many changes, but I will show you what I'm currently using right now. If you want a more detailed description on every single sound, I highly recommend you explore all of my videos, as I've really worked on this year. I'm breaking down all of the sounds that are currently on my pedalboard, pretty much A to Z. That includes the drives that I use, of course the HX Stomp, and all of my settings within the HX Stomp. In fact, I'll link right up here a playlist where I talk about all of the inside settings that I currently use on the HX Stomp. This is going to be kind of a long video, so I don't want to waste too much time. Let's jump right into it. Alright, this pedalboard, I mean, it's a thing of beauty for me especially. It's been absolutely perfect. So we're going to start from the beginning here. So the guitar that I'm using is of course the guitar that's been featured on this channel plenty of times. This is my Nash T52. It has Lawler pickups in it, and it's a beast. I get asked about this guitar all the time. It's supposed to be a replica of a 1952 Telecaster, and I love it. From the input, it goes into this sort of junction box that's right sitting just underneath the aux box that you see there, that snap up and snap down box right here. It's actually called a mini patch bay that was made by This One's Mine, the company This One's Mine. I used to use more advanced style versions of that, like the Interfacer, but I just ended up selling that off and just using the mini patch bay because it gets the job done. From there, that goes into the input of the Boss ES5, which is the loop switcher. From the ES5, there's a tuner out option, and that goes to the Polytune Mini. Of course, that's actually the newest pedal on this pedal board. I was looking for a smaller size pedal. Before that, I was using the Boss Chromatic TU2, which has been my go-to for years and years and years, but eventually just figured it would be really convenient, specifically for this pedal board, if I had a smaller tuner. So I bit the bullet and finally upgraded, or just bought a smaller tuner, and I trusted the Polytune Mini because it's been a staple for a long time now. Now back to the ES5. The Boss ES5 is broken down into 5 different channels. I use it on preset mode, and they're all labeled pretty clearly on my pedal board. So we'll start with one, which is clean. I'm going to turn the reverb and the delay off, and I'm just going to play the clean sound. And my clean sound consists of the Deep 6 compressor going into the HX Stomp amps that I have 2 amps going. If you want more information on that, I'll put a link right here where you can find out my dual amp settings. From there, we go into channel 2. Channel 2 is actually labeled Glory for a very good reason, because it basically is the Morning Glory. It features the Morning Glory pedal by JHS. However, the Deep 6 compressor does not turn off, so we keep compression on going into the Morning Glory, and this is what that sounds like. Channel number 3 is the Tumnus. It obviously holds the Tumnus pedal. This turns off the Morning Glory and just turns on the Tumnus, but of course I'm still keeping compression on, so compression's pretty much in every channel, but I'll keep repeating myself. So this is the compressor going into the Tumnus only, and from here I switch over to my bridge pickup because that's how I usually use this particular setting. Now we're going to switch over to channel 4. Channel 4 is my crunch sound. This is now an interesting setting. This is going to turn the Morning Glory back on. So it's going to be compression into the Morning Glory into the Tumnus by Wampler. Now we're going to switch over to channel 5. Channel 5 is my solo tone. This turns off the Morning Glory and it just keeps the Tumnus. So it's the compressor going into the Tumnus, and now that goes into the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini, and those two pedals together give me mid-range heaven, which helps me to punch through a mix and essentially give you a more saturated solo-esque tone. Keep in mind, this is more for like ambient style music, or more specifically praise and worship style music. So it's not like the solo tone of my dreams per se. That's probably going to be more of a Marshall-esque type of a tone, but this comes pretty close. Let's check it out. So of course that covers all of the major drive pedals. Just to give you a very quick run through of how it's all wired up. Loop 1 has the Walrus Audio Deep 6 compressor. Loop 2 has the Morning Glory. Loop 3 is the Wampler Tumnus, and Loop 4 is the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini, and Loop 5 is currently open. We then go out of the Boss ES5 and into the Dunlop volume pedal. This is the mini version. Absolutely love this thing, though I prefer a full-size volume pedal. This one gets the job done, especially if you're looking to kind of incorporate a volume pedal into a smaller size board. From the volume pedal, I then go into the Digitech Jamman Solo XT. This is a pedal that I've had on my pedal board for a long time now. Essentially, it is a looper that you can jam to. The unique thing about this particular looper though is that they allow you to incorporate a micro SD card in there so that you can load backing tracks. Back in the day when I was a worship director, and I was just thinking, how can I transition and lay pads down in our service without it coming from a keyboardist? And I didn't really have the technology or the equipment at the time to use products that were available to us like Ableton and all that stuff. So this was the quick, easy fix. I ended up purchasing this pedal, loading pads in all major keys in here. It's really great for when people are talking, or maybe if you're a worship musician, for when the preacher's preaching, there's an altar call or something, or even if you just want to transition from one song and the next song has a different key, well, you can introduce that new key using this very pedal. And so I'll show you how this works. The beautiful thing about this pedal is that it gives you a ton of features. One of those features actually being that you can program each setting by tapping it twice to fade out versus just harshly stopping, which is really convenient because I don't have to worry too much about pads just suddenly going away. The other thing too that you can do with this pedal is have the pads loop. So it's not like I just loaded 25-minute long pads. I only have the pads going for about 3 to 5 minutes, but they automatically loop and they fade in and fade back out in that loop, so it's virtually unnoticeable. From there, we finally go into the pedal that I get asked the most about, which is the Line 6 HX Stomp. Obviously a super convenient pedal. I'm currently using this pedal for dual amping, so I have 2 amps going into 1 IR. I also use it for delays and reverb. There is some noise gating as well. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how much. Enough so that you, the listener, doesn't notice it and I don't feel it as much, because as you guys know, noise gating can sometimes cut off your trails. So it's enough where it exists, but it doesn't get in the way. So you've already been hearing the amps and the IR being featured in this video the whole time because I've been playing through them, but you haven't heard delays and reverb just yet. So let's start off with hearing the delays. I currently use the dual delay setting in the HX Stomp. Let's hear what that sounds like. From there, we go into the reverb. That legitimately is the last thing in my chain, meaning that I use amps into IRs, then I incorporate a 10-band EQ actually, and then I incorporate delays and reverb. So they're literally the last thing in my chain before you, the listener, actually hears my entire signal. The reason I do that is because I feel like as an ambient player, doing it that way gives me the absolute cleanest versions of my delays and reverb that I could possibly get. It's the cleanest sounds I've ever got. I've been able to saturate my tone with more reverb and delay than I've ever been able to do so without getting peaks or distortion, because it's so super clean. I'm literally allowing the delay and reverb to shine versus putting it through an amp or an IR, where it will ultimately be colored and affected by the amp and IR. I really, really enjoy that. So now let's jump over to the reverb so you can hear what that sounds like. Now, of course, I use different MIDI functions on this board since I have the ability to do so. Not so much necessary here in the studio because I have time to tamper with settings and make different sounds on the fly, but in a live situation, really, really convenient. So, for example, if I were to press onto the clean channel on the Boss ES5, it's going to bring you back to my original glitz reverb setting, just like that. If you watch the HX Stomp, boom, takes you back to 41C, which is my actual setting for the HX Stomp that I personally use all the time, with everything loaded back into the glitz reverb. Delays are already on, ready to go, everything's ready to go. So That's one thing that I did using MIDI on the Boss ES5. The other thing that I used the Boss ES5 for in terms of the HX Stomp is I switched out the mute switch on the Boss ES5 and I made it the tap tempo so I could change the tempo time of my delay. So for example, it's currently at 72 BPMs. I'm going to change that to, I don't know, whatever it comes up, 102 BPMs, a little bit faster. And just like that, everything switches. So it's really, really convenient. Made this thing an absolute monster to travel with. It made it flexible enough so that I could program songs, but also not if I didn't have that option in the live situation that I was in. Like for example, I could be playing to a click track and I could dial in the exact BPMs, or I could be playing to a drummer without a click track and I could just tap tempo my delay settings and it would be fine. So I felt very comfortable regardless in almost every situation. Now let's quickly go back to the HX Stomp. I want to talk about one switch that I didn't talk about just yet, and then the aux switch that I'm using in conjunction with the HX Stomp. So for example, as you could see here, I have a mute switch as my third button option. If I were playing a song that I wanted to do a hard stop on, typically when I hard stop, you're going to hear my delays and reverb decay, and as an ambient player, that's a lot of decay. But if I wanted to hard stop, like make a mute type of sound, the mute switch is a perfect option because it actually mutes all of the effects as well. So let me show you what that sounds like. So hopefully that comes off clear. It's definitely a choice and not something I used very often, but it was something that I incorporated in a lot of music that I used to play back in the day with some of the other bands. And hard stops was a big thing back in the day, especially with like the rock music that I used to do. So having the ability to turn all the effects off and not have any trails was huge for me, and I thought it was a really cool option to incorporate. And the fact that I had an extra button or switch essentially to assign it to, I thought was really convenient. Now let's talk about the aux switch that's right here. This is made by Analog Endeavors, and it clearly states what it actually does. It's snap up and snap down, and this is where really I felt like the HX Stomp took it to the whole next level for me. So we're gonna show you what snap 1 looks like. You've been hearing it this whole time. It's my normal clean sound going into the dual delay and glitz reverb. But now snap 2, and I'll press that going up here, boom, it's in snap 2 instantly. It just gives me a little bit more decay on the reverb. The delays I believe stay the same and just gives me a little bit more of an ambient sound. It becomes a little more difficult to play rhythm with it, but really great with certain lead tones, really nice and ambient, really great for like that ambient solo S type stuff. Now we're going to switch over to snap 3. Snap 3 increases settings on both the delays and the reverb. It really makes it ultra ambient. Really not something that I would use to play any clarity notes on. More so something that I would use for like droning or swells. So this is where we'll leave it on the clean setting, but I'll incorporate the volume pedal so you can hear what that sounds like with swells. Very, very ambient again, so beware. that sound mixed with pads from the Digitech Jamman Solo XT, absolutely flawless. I think it pretty much gave me the ability to handle a lot of stuff on my own. No keyboardist, no backing tracks, just me, the guitar, pads. It was pretty incredible. So 100%, man, this pedal board was absolutely killer for me. I'm gonna miss it. I'm definitely gonna miss it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm 100% already regretting my decision to take this pedal board apart. Really quick, I'm gonna go to patch 2, which is the Morning Glory. I'm gonna throw on the pads here on the Solo XT. I'm gonna put it on Snap 2, just a little bit more of ambience, and we're gonna see what we can create using all of those sounds. So there you have it. That is the pedal board run through for 2021. This is the final pedal board run through for this pedal board. I'm going to be taking it apart. I can't believe I'm doing this, but definitely needs to be done. I think it's going to open up a whole new world of possibilities for me, specifically for this channel. Let me know if there's anything that you want to hear more of. Of course, taking this pedal board apart will allow me to incorporate other pedals on here, so we can do a lot of fun stuff. I also had this idea of creating a pedal board that only uses the HX Stomp, so we'll see what I can create with that, but all of those videos will come. First things first, we got to take this pedal board apart, so that's gonna come in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do all of the things that help this channel grow. Like this video, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell icon. Again, there are a ton of affiliate links in the description box below, specifically this one link that allows you to donate to this channel directly, which would be very, very helpful. You can buy me a cup of coffee, and I love coffee. If you have any questions about this pedal board or pedals or settings that you see, that you heard today, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll be sure to answer them as quickly and as efficiently as I possibly can. Thanks so much for watching, and until next week.